Hey guys, Mike here. So, quick short video on, what we're seeing in the market as far as these headlines. And it's very important to pay attention to these company announcements that are coming out because why? What does the Fed operate on? Why are they so far behind? Because they operate on lagging indicators, right? The GDP, unemployment. By the time they get that data, it's already happened, okay? And that's what they're trying to react off of. So, but understand, if you pay attention to company announcements from these large companies, you can already see what's on the horizon, what's coming down the pipeline. Not 100% guaranteed, but, pretty dang close. And so at least this gives us an idea of where we're heading into a tightening cycle already. And what are you hearing companies talking about on these calls, right? Growth is slowing, right? That's why they're downgrading their forecasts and stuff. Understand the big one. We have moved demand forward. What does that mean? We've never done it in the history of the country, I don't believe, which is what happened. We put, $7 to $10 trillion of stimulus in the economy, 2020, 2021. And so instead of waiting until 2022 or 2023 to buy something, we all had all this money. So we went ahead and bought it then, whether it be a car, boat, whatever. And so now 2022 is rolling around in 2023. And for e-commerce companies and a lot of other types of companies, that demand was met back then, isn't here, it isn't as high. Now, to meet that demand in 2020 and 2021, what did a lot of companies have to do? They had to hire people, right? To come in and help fill that. Well, if your demand, you see your growth slowing, right? What are you going to do? You're going to reverse that cycle, okay? And that's the key thing to pay attention to. Plus, there's another announcement came out by two companies, which is going to affect the whole world. And, if you thought the chip shortage was bad and all that, then it's just going to get worse. And here's why, okay? So if you get anything out of it, hit the like and subscribe button. And I'll make this very quick. We're going to do rapid fire across these headlines. But this is what you want to pay attention to see what's on the horizon, okay? Got these big companies, Uber's coming out. They're going to go ahead and slow down hiring. Robinhood's lay off 9% of its full-time employees. You got Facebook. They're freezing hiring right now. You got Apple. They're slowing hiring as well. You end up having Ford Motor Company slashing 580 jobs. That was back in April 27th. Then you got Carvana. They've been laid off thousands, but they're going to shed another 12% of the workforce already. And then you got, of course, what's happening to the mortgage industry. It's slowing down as rates go up, as home prices going up. So what happens? One of the largest banks out there, they're going to start layoffs in their home lending unit. Flagstar Bancorp cuts 20% of its mortgage staff. Rocket Mortgage, the trim workforce's home loan markets shrink. You're starting to see a sequence here. Better.com has already laid off thousands, but they're going to do another round of layoffs. And then Fintech Main Street cuts about 30% of its staff. You can see these dates. These are not old announcements, okay? And the big one to watch out for, and this is the shoe, we got to see if it drops. Amazon, the second largest private employer in the country, right? On the earnings call, what they say, they hired a bunch of people right here during the pandemic in their warehouses to fill demand because e-commerce was huge, right? Well, now that demand is not as much as it was. And so what do you think is going to happen if that demand does not pick up again for them? What do you think is going to happen there at the second largest employer? And I don't say that lightly because trust me, I've been laid off in the past. It sucks, by the way. It has never happened to you, and I hope it never does because it's an eye-opener, let me tell you right now. And so, that's the big one we got to look for. If Amazon starts doing that, yeah, I mean, that kind of signifies, where we're at. And you see all these other companies, all these other different industries, right? And the other big announcement that came out from two different companies just about 3 days ago, which is really going to affect a lot of different industries here, is Taiwan Semiconductors. They're going ahead and they're going to raise their prices again by 9% in 2023. This is after already raising chip prices 10 to 20% this year already. And look who they supply: Apple, AMD, Intel, NVIDIA, and of course, not to be outdone, Samsung said, well, let's get on that there too. We're going to hike our prices by 20%. And they've already hiked prices in the past. And who do they supply? Qualcomm and many others. And so does that look like something that's really going to help the market out there? Because everything takes these chips, right? And so the answer is absolutely not. And as far as the layoffs are concerned, when companies, we're going to a rate hike cycle, right? So, harder and more expensive to raise money and all that good stuff, and a tightening cycle. What's the biggest expense for a company? Employees, not just their pay, benefits, all that stuff, right? Got to pay half of the FICA taxes for them, all that good stuff. So are they really going to start worrying about how many pieces of paper, copy and paper they order, or staples, or furniture? No, because that's peanuts, right? It's about employees, your biggest expense. So if you want to cut back, so make sure, the executives are getting their bonuses and their stock-based compensation, you can lay off employees. That's the way it works. And then you make the other employees pick up the slack and do their job and be more productive, okay? And so this is what we got to pay close attention to instead of just waiting, for these reports to come out, since they're lagging indicators. Just pay attention to the announcements, right, from these companies themselves, all right? And so that's something to pay attention to. I like to put, short videos out there. Let me know if you like these, because I keep them as short as possible for you and just throw them out there in the middle of the day. So if you want to look and keep up with this, you can. And again, if you don't keep up with it, I'm going to keep up with it for you and let you know, okay? So have a good one. I'll see you guys later.